and welcome to a new video. Today I am tackling a 16th century inspired medieval kirtle. Everything I do is inspired, very little is historically accurate in any way, shape or form. I just like to dress up and have fun. I am making it for my upcoming trip to Sweden for Visby Medieval Week. Although I don't know if I'll get it all done before I go. It's currently just after 1 on Friday afternoon, and I'm getting on a plane Monday. Yeah, I've left it a little late, but there's been a lot going on. I do, though, have a few days in Sweden before I actually go to the festival, so I can do some little hand finishing bits over there if I need to. The fabric I'm going to use for this project is this lovely greeny linen. I picked this up when I was in England studying, and I picked it up specifically to make a medieval kirtle out of. So today is its day, it's finally coming out of the stash. And I'm going to line the bodice so it has a little bit more structure, and I'm going to use this plain white linen for that purpose. So with my fabrics chosen, all I need now is the pattern. I'm going to use this pattern, which is McCall's M7763. And the only pieces I want are the front and back bodice pieces. I do like the rest of the gown and do plan to make that one day, but for today I only want the bodice pieces, just to give me a base pattern to then modify to what I need. Alright, I think I'm there with my pattern. Close enough at least. This was a really hard pattern to adjust, mostly because I was doing it on myself and everything was in really awkward, hard to reach places. And I see now why people say that side lacing kirtles are hard to get into by yourself. Trying to reach this seam to hold it together to safety pin, that was hard. And I mean, I do have a mannequin which I did use for the back sort of stuff, but she don't squish the same that I do. So sometimes less useful for draping a new pattern. But I think I've got it now, and I'm just going to transfer it to some paper because it all got a little bit confusing. And then I've got it if I ever want to do this again without having to go through contortionist training first. My bodice pieces and all their layers are now cut out. The skirt that goes with this is just big rectangles, so I'm going to do that later when I've got the bodice sorted. And I've ended up with 3 layers. So I've got that linen, which will be the lining. I've got a sew-in interfacing, because from my limited research, these sorts of kirtles were often interlined with buckram, which is linen stiffened with hide glue, which I do not have, but I do have sew-in interfacing. So maybe it's similar-ish and will do something. And then I've got my outer linen layer. Now I just need to put it together. So it is Monday morning and my bodice is still all in bits. I haven't done anything since I cut it out on Friday, but my flight isn't until tonight. So I think I can probably do some sewing until about midday. And then I probably need to pack my bag because I haven't done that yet. So let's just keep chuffing along on this. I think what I actually want to do is baste the outer layer and the interlining together so that they are one, because I think this is what's going to need some structure when I sew on the skirt, because I will sew it to the outer fabric first and then the lining will get folded over just to cover the seam allowance basically. So I think that piece will need a bit more structure. So if it's got the interlining attached, that will be good. So let's quickly baste these pieces together. At least there's not a lot of pieces. It's just one front, one back. My layers are kind of together. They're attached at the neckline, and I have also given it an understitch so all the edges stay nicely tucked away. And now I'm just going to give this a press to finish it off. And I think I'll also go ahead and press in my seam allowances on these side edges. Because this is quite a narrow strap, I don't think I'll have much success if I try the burrito method of finishing off side seams. So I think I'll have to do it by hand, which is fine. I love me some hand stitching. Whether or not I have the time for it is another question, but it's not too big an area. So yeah, I think if I iron the seam allowances so I know where they are, I can then quickly stitch them and it shouldn't take too long. It might be the last thing I get done. My bodice lining is in and I think it looks so nice, which means that this bodice is kind of done for now. It still needs eyelets on each side so that I can lace it up, but I am not even going to attempt to get those done before I have to pack this. I think I have about an hour left, so not enough time, especially as I want to do hand-done eyelets. So I think that will be a in Sweden job. But to finish off, I think I would like to get the skirt sort of together, which I think I will do by just cutting what I have left of this fabric in half and making half the front, half the back and pleating them down to fit. This fabric is quite lightweight, so I don't think half of this will be too much. I did consider maybe like a third in the front and 2/3 in the back, but I don't know that that would make that much difference, especially as the front panel of this bodice is actually wider than the back. So I think half and half will work. Done before I head to the airport. It is 1 o'clock now in the afternoon and I need to pack and tidy my room and just do the last things you do before you go away. So my bodice is together, my skirt side seams are together. I haven't pleated the top edge and I haven't measured the hem out at all. So I will catch you all in Sweden to do that. Welcome to Sweden. I'm currently in Stockholm. I'm quite jet lagged and out of it, but there is sewing to do. I've got a couple of days before I'm going to get on the ferry over to Visby, and I'm going to take that time to finish off my kirtle. So what I'm going to do now is put the eyelets in the bodice. I think it'll be easier to do that now before I attach the skirt. This much fabric is much easier to throw around and manhandle than all of it together. My eyelets are now in both on the front and the back. So now I'm going to take my skirt piece and pleat it down to match these waistlines. Ooh, it's a bit windy at the top of this hill, but I have finished my dress and I am ready to frolic. So let's go!